Meganeura quadpenna is an especially large species of dragonfly. Actually, it is a type of griffinfly, an extinct species of invertebrate that looked similar to dragonflies. Like most griffinflies, Meganeura is carnivorous, but it is typically not aggressive towards humans unless provoked or challenged for food. It lives primarily in the wetter, heavier, wooded areas, such as the jungles. Meganeura is a natural predator of most of the smaller insects on the island. Though not often aggressive, Meganeura will not turn down a free meal. They quickly appear in large numbers to scavenge off the victims of Pulmonoscorpius, rendered unconscious and unable to defend themselves. Of course, the insects do have to avoid the Pulmonoscorpius itself. I have noticed it is unwise to disturb a flock of feeding Meganeura. The size of the insects on the island confounds me. The way these creatures diffuse oxygen should limit their size, but Meganeura and other bugs seem to be able to advance beyond this restraint. If there is more oxygen in the air, this could explain Meganeura's growth. Phiomia ignavis is another of the island's generally docile herd animals. They are small enough that almost any predator can bring them down, but large enough to provide plenty of meat. Were it not for the protection of the herd and their instinct to run from any predator, these would almost certainly be hunted to extinction. Phiomia's tusks and trunk make it especially suited to scavenging plant life from the ground. It uses its tusks to dig up loose plant life, then uses its stubby trunk to scoop the foliage into its mouth. Adult Phiomia often dig up food for their young, and watching a baby Phiomia attempt to use its trunk can be quite amusing. While it is completely possible to ride a Phiomia around, they are a meagre choice. They work very well, however, as pack mules. If you feed the Phiomia a stimberry, it serves as a laxative in the creature's digestive system. Knowing this, tribal communities often keep a herd of these as livestock to produce mass quantities of fertilizer. Typically found within the island's caves, Titanoboa exornita is an aggressive creature that prefers dark, rocky areas. This extremely large snake, while being a member of the Titanoboa family, does not constrict its prey as most boas do. I believe this adaptation comes from coexisting with giant insects. However, the Titanoboa's venomous bite is so potent that it is known to paralyze far larger creatures. Titanoboa has developed a strange coexistence with other creatures of the island's caves. Being immune to knockout poisons and being unable to pierce the thick chitin of the insects, the species have learned to coexist. They often hunt large prey together. As they appear immune to knockout poisons, Titanoboa exornita is basically impossible to render unconscious. Because this crucial step can't be done, I'm convinced that Titanoboa are not tameable.
Wild Pachycephalosaurus is a bit of a conundrum. It is a very passive, even friendly herbivore, common to much of the island. At the same time, it is one of the most dangerous herbivores that I have yet encountered on the island. Its charging headbutt is a display of sheer physical power and can kill much more quickly than you might think. While Pachycephalosaurus is generally friendly, it has a short temper. Its fight or flight response always seems to choose fight. The Pachi becomes extremely aggressive once attacked. Additionally, it is an incredibly fast sprinter, so escaping from an enraged Pachi is very difficult. Domesticated Pachycephalosaurus is an excellent battle mount for those who want to ride a smaller, nimble combatant into the fray. Because of its particular musculature, it cannot effectively carry large quantities of resources. It can, however, move with brief, magnificent bursts of speed, and its headbutt is simply devastating.
I don't know where to start with the Raniomorphus amalgotantibus. It has so many of the nightmare-inducing traits of spiders from among many family and genus. It fires webbing like a bowler spider. It spits venom like a lynx spider. It has a poisonous bite like a myriad of spiders, and can see in the dark by sensing vibrations. And to top it off, Araneomorphis is larger than an adult human. If that wasn't enough, I'm convinced that some of the caves on the island have actually been dug by Araneomorphis. But this worries me. Either Araneomorphis is a colony spider, like ants, or there is a much larger Araneomorphis somewhere on the island. As long as it is kept far from arachnophobics, domesticated Araneomorphis makes an excellent guardian creature for anyone wanting to avoid killing. Their strange web-spraying behavior is also quite helpful while hunting fast, fleeing prey. They are too small to be used as mounts, however. The first marsupial I've encountered on the island is the Prosoptodon vivencuris. Standing nearly 3 meters tall, it is among the largest jumping creatures I've heard of. It is a fairly peaceful herbivore that will immediately flee when aggressed upon. One of the Prosoptodon's most unique features is its pouch. Unlike many pouched marsupials, Prosoptodon's pouch is relatively dry and has little in the way of sticky or oily fluids. I assume this is good for the joey, but I have not figured out exactly why yet. Its other unique feature, powerful hind legs, can knock back aggression much larger in stature. Prosoptodons show great precision when leaping, as if they can accurately target the landing without fail. I've seen them effortlessly hop and land from heights that would flatten other creatures. It seems Prosoptodon's knack for carrying things has increased its load-bearing capacity. Prosoptodon's dry pouch makes it an excellent beast of burden that can carry far more than any other creatures of its size. Additionally, it appears to provide an optimal environment for nourishing babies, so much that upon maturing, they have even more vigor. I'm not sure why, but the giant scorpions I've seen on the island are far more disturbing than most of the dinosaurs. Rather than simply kill its prey, Pulmonoscorpius gigantus injects its victims with a tranquilizing poison, then eats its unconscious prey alive. This subspecies has a large pair of pincers that seem connected to the same toxin sacs as the tail. I've never seen another scorpion that has this adaptation, but I've never seen another scorpion that's larger than I am either. Trying to tame a monster like Pulmonoscorpius gigantus sounds like a crazy idea, but I suppose the ability to knock out a foe could come in handy. It could certainly make incapacitating some of the island's other creatures much easier. Oviraptor philodiptor is a small to medium-sized carnivore, common in the jungles and beaches of the island. Despite being a carnivore, Oviraptor's main source of food is eggs, which it steals from nests. Unlike any other creature, Oviraptor seems to be able to surreptitiously steal these eggs, usually without attracting the attention of an irate mother. In an incredible feat of natural selection, Oviraptor seems to emit a chemical pheromone that affects many creatures as an aphrodisiac. Mated creatures are much more likely to create new eggs while Oviraptor is around, which allows the Oviraptor to go about its business unperturbed. Too small to fight or ride, Oviraptor is still one of the more commonly tamed creatures on the island. Its pheromone ensures an increased stream of eggs from nearby mated wild creatures for breeding, eating, or cooking kibble. Oviraptor will autonomously do the dirty work of stealing eggs from other tribes or wild dinos on your behalf, without attracting unwanted attention. They also make quite adorable sounds, so many children simply like to keep them around as rather strange companions.